Hi, and welcome to the BlueMilk Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything Star Wars related. Thank you for joining us today. I'm BJ.
I'm Jacob.
I'm drinking. And today marks the beginning of the rest of your life.
And we're back. Hey.
So, we have topics. Who has topics? Go for it.
You go.
No, you go for it.
Rock,
paper, scissors, each other.
I'm bitter enough as it is. You go for it.
Okay. Oh, I want you to go, sir. Let's start with a little bitter and then we'll work it up to the sweet. How's that?
I am really bitter.
Alright, do it. Come on.
Alright.
Hit it.
There has been, since the Solo movie came out, there's been a lot of tension in the Star Wars universe surrounding Disney and some of the actors therein. Well,
oh yeah, the Asian.
Let's see. We have
Yeah.
Kelly Marie Tran, who
Yeah.
decided to dump her Instagram.
All online
accounts.
presence. Period.
All of it?
She's not on any online.
Because people are picking on her, bullying her, cyberbullying her.
Hey man, it's a thing nowadays.
Bullying that's actually my
Fucking
topic
get
right
over
there.
it.
That's actually my topic right there.
You're in.
I'm glad that we got overlap. No, we got overlap. Go.
You're in the public eye. Get over it. It happens. People are going to hate you. People are going to love you. Don't be a pussy.
Well, to be fair,
But I know, to be fair,
no.
they are Hollywood people, and I get that.
No,
you're all sensitive.
not all of them, but because we're using blanket statements here.
Yes,
To be fair, the general way of things is if you're doing a good job, you never hear about it.
True.
And if someone has something to say that they don't like about what you're doing, they're usually the more vocal.
True.
So
And
if
I do not blame her
we're
for the
not.
shitty ass character she had to play.
She got handed a role, and she did the best she could with what she was given.
I agree.
Yeah, we don't blame actors generally here.
Generally. Depends on who they are.
I don't blame any of the actors, because honestly, I personally don't blame any of the actors.
Yeah.
Because I understand that some actors might be better than others and blah, 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 blah. Like, some people can take a shitty
There
role.
might be. Some actors are better than others. It's
True.
part of the business.
True. I understand that some actors can be handed a shitty role and turn it into something better, and some actors are handed good roles and turn them into shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it could go both ways. I mean, the biggest proponent, the biggest thing that I would point out to this would be Jared Leto with the Joker in Suicide Squad. I do not like.
Which I haven't watched. I have no interest in that.
I hate that version of the Joker. I don't consider that to be the Joker.
Comic book wise, I love Jack Nicholson's Joker.
It's accurate. But
Realism wise, I loved
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's Joker.
Heath Ledger's my favorite.
everyone loves Heath Ledger as the Joker. He portrayed it probably as one of the most iconic portrayals.
But Mark
Hamill's a really good
comic
voice.
book, yes, very good.
voice-wise,
Very good, yeah.
Mark Hamill's insanely good as voice. Like, if you had Heath Ledger as, like, the look and Mark Hamill as the voice,
It'd be
that
the
would
worst thing
probably
possible.
be the perfect version of the Joker.
Yeah.
But what we have is what we have.
Yeah.
Jared Leto, I don't really see as that. Now, I don't have anything against Jared Leto as an actor. I understand that he was kind of just given a role, and then the director and the writer and all the other, and the producers and everything like that involved pretty much wanted their version of the Joker in that movie to be portrayed that way. So, and Jared Leto pretty much just did what he could with what he had.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't hold him against that. But I still don't like it. And I don't like the fact that they're coming out with a solo movie involving that Jared Leto Joker, which really upsets me. But regardless, what is it? Kelly Marie Tran?
Yeah.
Yeah, that chick.
Kelly Marie.
Short chick, Asian, Welcome.
Rose.
Yes.
From episode 8.
Yeah, Rose, whatever the fuck her last name was.
Yeah, regardless, I've never actually, in fact, I'm one of the few people on this particular podcast that has never had a problem with her. Everyone else has at one point criticized her role, like Rose's role.
The character
itself.
Yeah,
the character was played.
Not
Not the actress herself.
Neither one of them, and
Yeah.
I mean, I believe we have this all like in previous episodes.
Yeah,
but
it's documented.
neither one of my fellow compatriots here have ever criticized this trans acting capability. But regardless, none of us have ever critiqued her capabilities as an actress. They just have criticized Rose's role in the grand scheme of Star Wars.
Yeah.
That character does not need to exist, and that's me personally. I've never critiqued that. I find that giving Finn a love interest outside of Rey is probably the best way to go if you're going to make Rey anything at all accurate to a Jedi. Because honestly, she shouldn't have any physical attachments to anything in the world, and if you make her fall in love with Finn, that will pretty much start the whole cycle of fuck all over again.
I know, Rey seemed to have a pretty intimate attachment to the staff she carried on.
Yeah, but she easily dropped it when she got the lightsaber. When Luke handed her the lightsaber, she was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, I know. Anyway, point of this was, just go ahead and get into it. I am fed up with the bullshit that both Hollywood and Disney are feeding into the Star Wars universe. Star Wars is getting further and further away from the original, the Holy Trilogy. The way Star Wars was designed to be
4, 5, and 6
was a good, a story, a space opera. Not this politically
correct social movie that is trying to win the audience.
And with every movie, they are trying to move closer and closer to being more and more politically correct and getting further and further away from the Star Wars story.
Solo, I felt was really good. I mean, I think I'm yet again one of the only people on this panel that really liked it.
I like Solo.
You guys are alright with it.
It was okay for me.
Yeah, it was okay.
I'm above him.
You're a little bit.
Yeah,
and then you're in the middle.
Yeah.
Regardless, I definitely could see the influences of social justice warriors, I believe is what you're referencing.
I was trying not to use that term, but yes, that's exactly what I'm referencing. I'm tired of it.
How
it
they want everything politically correct, how they want every kind of denomination,
sexual
preferences, ethnicities, sexes. They want everything portrayed in equal amounts, and I can understand where you're coming from, because honestly, in real life, I understand that in real life, everyone is trying to move towards a more equal setting. Ultimately, in real life, a lot of people,
not.
But nothing is or ever will be equal.
By trying to push to make things more equal, you're going exactly the opposite way.
Yeah,
you're giving precedence to the minority, and they truly are the minority.
Yeah, they're nowhere near
the LGBTQPR.
Oh no! They added a K just recently, so they're like a password. They're like 11 or 12 letters now.
They are the minority. They are not the
they don't
majority.
Have numbers, it's all just letters. But they do have a plus sign in there.
And the thing is, minority and majority mean absolutely nothing. We are equal, but by drawing attention to this small group of people, you're making them
you're putting them on
attention and bringing them higher, and that removes the whole equality part of things.
Yeah.
Especially when you bring it into the Star Wars universe. There's no reason to have it there. It's not necessary. It's not part of the story. And when you try to force it as part of the story because you're using your own views to push that shit into the movie, it's wrong.
I think where Dirk is coming from is that it's okay to have that stuff in there. Just don't make it
the story. Part of the story.
Yeah, exactly. Don't wedge it into us. Don't wedge it into something where it's not necessarily needed. Like
Lando being pansexual.
Yeah,
which I actually did not see him as pansexual in the movie. What I saw was he had an affinity for his
it'd be the same thing.
Robot.
It would be the same thing if Luke lost
R2-D2. Yeah, it was the same type of thing.
No one ever says Luke is pansexual or anything along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Or even that, what is it, Anakin or Padme lost C-3PO or something like that?
No, Anakin never came across as...
He always had a disconnect. I mean, even against, like, Padme, his connection was very tenuous.
Well, at times she was kind of robotic, too, so...
Sure. Well, regardless, I think what Dirk is trying to state is that if you're going to put it in, make it a lot more organic. Don't make it like we're putting it in simply to make a statement. Mm-hmm. Make it feel like it's actually part of what you're putting it in instead of just kowtowing or doing just pushing it in simply for the point of making a point. Mm-hmm. That doesn't sit well with everyone. And I think that's where a lot of the pushback involving Disney is coming from, where a lot of this stuff is getting pushed in simply to make a point, and everyone is like, it's not helping. It's more of a hindrance to the overall feel.
Yeah. Now I say they. I'm actually referring to a very small number of people, namely one.
So.
Kathleen Kennedy. She's the one heading all this bullshit.
Not the only one.
She has stated, and I will get links up to all of this. She has stated the Force is female. Now, we, as a podcast, have gone over this. The Force is neutral. There is no male or female. There is no dark side or light side. The Force is, in itself, neutral. So for her to say...
It's even stated in her
that
fucking
it's
movies.
Female is putting her own beliefs into a story that doesn't belong.
Well,
She's pushing her own views.
To be fair, everyone has their own viewpoints and perspectives on things. She can believe that in her perspective,
the Force is female.
as long as that doesn't influence the overall story. Like if they start if Yoda shows up all of a sudden and is like, "Oh yeah, no,
I got a sex change."
Well, no,
female now. I am.
No, like if Yoda showed up and actually further extrapolated on his teachings to Luke by telling him, yeah, the Force is female, then all of a sudden it seems like that seems completely unnecessary. Like the original explanation of the Force, as told to Luke in Episode 5, states that it is just an energy that exists in all things. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have a race. It doesn't have an ethnicity. It's none of those. It's beyond those. It's just a simple energy that exists everywhere. And if you have the capability to influence that force, then you are force sensitive. That's simply it. Put as per the words of Yoda in Episode 5. That's it. There is no other way to explain it. Or any better way to explain it, honestly. I mean, we tried to delve into the meaning of the Force.
I think we did delve into it. I think we did a very good job of...
We definitely delved into the philosophy.
Getting our own thoughts out.
And the understanding. And, of course, those are our own perspectives. I mean, those aren't canon in any way.
I would never say that I'm right.
Or that
I probably am. but I would never say
we would never say that our opinion. Well, we would jokingly, but we would never mean. We would never honestly, truthfully insinuate that our opinions are more important or have more weight than anyone else's out there. Everyone has their own opinion of how everything exists in Star Wars or life in general. Yeah. You are entitled to your opinion, and we are entitled to ours. That's equality. That's how that works. If you don't like our opinion, you don't have to watch us.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, that's not opinion. That's fact. You have to watch it.
To be fair, most people that don't like something will watch it more adamantly than people that do.
Oh, so I hope you hate us. Hi, Russ.
I actually truly do. You hope you hate us. I mean, what?
I hope you like us.
It's okay. I hate you.
I hate you too.
I mean, BJ's okay.
BJ's.
Everybody's BJ.
Yeah.
I'm the neutral non-entity, I guess. I'm like, you can take it or leave it.
You're not a non-entity. You do exist.
I'm a neutral entity. There we go.
Alright.
But that's where you're coming from. And you blame Kathleen Kennedy specifically for the SJW social justice warrior influences that are being pushed or wedged into the narrative.
She appears to be the central figure behind the direction Disney is going with the Star Wars franchise.
Because she is the president of Lucasfilm, she technically has the whole responsibility. It kind of goes back to our old conversation when we did, 3 weeks ago about Hitler. Remember we were talking about Hitler and how because he was... No, we'll probably cut this. Anyways.
we may not.
No. Okay, so what Jacob is trying to say is we had a conversation involving Hitler where Hitler, yes, is a very bad person, but you have to take into consideration that he is surrounded by just as evil people that have influence. You gotta look at it in terms of Hollywood. George Lucas, when he created the prequels,
is Hitler.
No.
Oh.
But.
Is Hitler's butt.
No. But. You gotta look. I'm just using the situation.
The butt?
No, I'm referring to the situation. George Lucas was surrounded by yes men. Because of these yes men, he created something that universally is not liked.
In the older generations. If you look at the newer generation and everything, a lot of people like the prequels. I'm one of the people that do like the prequels. Anyways.
The
majority.
Well, maybe at this point, I don't know. At some point, because the people that didn't like it are dying faster than the people that do like them.
It's because the people who like them are killing off the people who don't like them. Okay, that's getting cut. Fucking asshole.
But I'm just simply utilizing the situation of George Lucas, surrounded by yes men, created something that at the time was not as good as could have been. Simply because he didn't have any conflicting viewpoints or any other perspectives given to him at the time.
I think he tried too hard.
And the conversation we were having, and the opinion is that Hitler could have become a better person if he wasn't surrounded by as many evil people as he was. That doesn't change the fact that him and the Nazi Party are very evil and not condoning anything, and they did.
As the BlueMilk Podcast,
we have no affiliation.
He was a horrible, horrible person,
and we're glad that he's dead.
Well, yeah. Don't hate us. Well,
hate us,
but
don't hate us.
Hate us in a good way.
Hate us for other reasons, not because of that.
Yeah,
we don't.
It's just a reference, all right? If you're a Jew, it's okay. I'm a Jew. He's a Jew.
Well, no,
are you
Jewish?
Jew?
I'm not Jewish.
You're not Jewish.
I'm Italian.
I'm Jewy.
I was on the side of the Axis powers.
Are you Chewbacca?
No, I'm just Jewy.
Oh.
My heritage was in the Axis. We did, however, kill Mussolini. Strung him up on a lamppost.
Nice.
And we didn't like what he did. We went hardcore with that shit. Yeah.
Mussolini was dead.
Yeah, he was. No one liked him. That's why we strung him up on a lamppost.
Yeah. People actually like Hitler. I don't think anyone liked Mussolini.
Yeah, no. His own people didn't even like him.
Anyway, Getting away from the topic again.
I mean, technically, Star
I brought Lucas in. I was bringing the reference there.
I mean, technically, Stormtrooper, the whole Imperial Empire is based off the Nazi.
Well, not just Nazis.
Yes,
I mean, it's based off of that kind of imperialism. However, which existed outside. It's not just the Nazis that have
the original trilogy did not incorporate current social commentary.
No.
It was just based off of the core of World War II. But it did not have current social commentary. You didn't have, what was it, Black Panthers in Episode 5.
Oh, yeah, because that did come out around that time.
It would have been right after. You didn't have
honestly,
any of the major drug shit that was going on.
Nixon? Was it Nixon?
Yeah, Nixon was 73 or some shit like that.
So they didn't have any kind of references to Watergate or anything along those lines?
No, there was no social commentary.
Which was huge.
They just based the story off of World War II.
Yeah.
Situation. So the story was
the overall
its
setting.
own thing. And the story continued on to be
it was
its
the hero's
own
journey.
thing.
It was the hero's journey. That's a story that's been told more than just Star Wars. Like, if you look throughout literature...
That's what draws people.
If you look throughout literature and
They want to
cinematic
see the
history, you'll see that the hero's journey is something that's used a lot. And it's pretty formulaic, and George pretty much stuck straight to it. The thing that makes episodes 1, 2, and 3, I feel, the worst is that he had so many yes men around him that he didn't have these conflicting opinions to kind of mold it into something much better. Because if you look at 4, 5, and 6, George only directed 4 and wrote 4. He co-wrote 5,
Yep.
didn't direct 5, and didn't direct 6.
Yep.
And he co-wrote 6 as well. So, I mean, like, you gotta look at that factor of, like, George was not even completely involved in the original trilogy that's considered sacrosanct by many.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just look at that. But yeah, they definitely didn't, like, the Holy Trinity did not have a lot of social commentary in it.
It was its own story.
Yeah.
As it should have been.
I mean, it definitely had, I guess you could infer social commentary, some social commentary in the movies, such as, like, droids being secondary citizens,
Okay.
maybe, like,
They're looked on
the
as...
sexism between Leia and a lot of other people, but I mean, like, you gotta... Because, I mean, 6 definitely had some sexism involved, where Leia was in a bikini and there was Jabba the Hutt with her leashed up. I mean, that was definitely... There was definitely some sexist overtones.
It wasn't like pushing down your throat.
Yeah, I don't
choking
see that. That was the culture of... That was Jabba's culture.
Correct. And on top of that, Jabba
That's
got
how
killed.
he treated people.
Yeah, exactly.
It
And
wasn't
on top
how
of that,
everybody treated them.
And on top of that, like, Jabba was killed almost immediately after that. I mean, it was very quickly that, like, he got his comeuppance. So,
I think he choked on a frog and she just got the chain around him. Like,
no, I like to believe that she straight up just and fucking just choked the shit out of that fucking slimy bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, so, like, you could definitely see that there was some social commentary, or you could extrapolate certain social commentary from the original trilogy, but it definitely wasn't, like...
It was part of the story.
It didn't feel like it was wedged in there, or it was put in there simply to make a point. It was part of the story, as Dirk puts it. Yes.
Now here's another example. You guys already know my feelings about this. We've already talked about it. But it's relevant to this. Rey.
Yeah.
Gotta have a strong female lead character. So let's make a female lead character who is able to do everything with no issues whatsoever, without having to learn anything. She can do anything.
Well, that's not necessarily true. She did have to learn.
To everybody else.
She did have to learn, though.
Leia was a strong female character.
She
was her own. She was a lead
straight
character.
up until she married Poppins, that shit.
Well, I'm talking the original trilogy.
Okay.
Original trilogy.
I was about to say.
She was a strong female lead.
Yes, she was.
And she was a lead female character.
She was.
You didn't have to force that shit on anybody. It was accepted because it was the story.
It was organic.
You bring Rey in, and she's...
No, I think they could have definitely...
She's clumsy, and
She's not
she's
that
able
clumsy.
to do everything. She is so non-graceful.
She's not that clumsy. I've seen him break more shit than her.
Well, yeah, me too.
This is because I'm a bull on a fucking China
But
shop.
she's
You're
supposed
clumsy. She's not that clumsy.
She supposedly was able to use that staff.
Yeah, she had to defend herself.
She was not graceful. She was not graceful at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was no grace to that chick at all.
Sometimes it was.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well, I mean, she had to teach herself, so she's not going to be, like, perfect. She got the job done.
She supposedly forced this whole big old force thing.
I'm not arguing about that. I'm just talking about the staff thing. She taught herself how to defend herself. It might not be, like, the most graceful shit, but she got the job done. Like, I'm on board with you that Rey, it could have been a lot more organic and everything.
I think what you guys are ultimately upset about is the fact that Rey comes across as a very Mary Sue kind of character.
She didn't have to work for it.
It would have been better if she was maybe surprised herself, like, holy shit, it actually fucking works. That would have been a little bit better.
Okay.
Something. It's very similar to taking what does this button do out of Anakin's shit.
Okay, so I just want to point out that a lot of people seem to have this grudge against Rey as being a Mary Sue kind of character. She didn't have to work for anything. Everything kind of came naturally. I also have to point out that Luke Skywalker is also a Mary Sue character. He did not have to work for anything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, he did.
When?
He did.
When?
I was going to go to Tosche Station and pick up some power converters.
Yeah.
He had to work for it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, because the only way he was able to get out
Rey
of
had
that,
to work for food.
The only way he had to get out of that was his aunt and uncle got torched.
Rey had to work for her food. The only reason she got out of that was because Finn showed up.
No, she would have been better off if she'd sold BB-8 and got the 60 rations.
She wasn't going to sell BB-8, though.
Yeah, I know. Why not?
She likes the droid. She formed a connection with him, like Luke did with
Was
R2.
she banging the droid?
Good.
She probably was.
It wouldn't be bad.
It fits.
Pansexual.
Yeah,
since they exist now.
Apparently.
It's not like they didn't before, it's just now it's absolutely stated. I don't know why they felt they needed
It's
to
not
point
even
that
officially
out.
stated. It's
they stated.
not in the movie.
Not in the movie,
Not say
but
that
outside
he
of
was
the movie.
fucking L3.
Outside of the movie, they've stated that Lando Calrissian is pansexual.
Yeah,
and it's canon.
But is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
It is.
Okay, well, we'll have to find a link to that.
It's been stated by the people that run Lucasfilms that Lando is a pansexual.
I don't know why they have to put a label on fucking
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Because everything nowadays needs a label. Everything needs a label
No,
nowadays.
it doesn't.
Oh, according
It's
to
not part of fucking Star Wars. It doesn't need a goddamn
Jedi needs a label.
Well, that's because it's a religion. Pansexual is not. Is pansexual a religion? Is pansexual a religion?
Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah.
Might as well be.
Let's see. Who can we bring out of the closet for this one?
Shit, I don't know.
Keith Henshaw.
Keith. There we go. Yeah, Keith. Chime in, Keith.
Wonderful. That was him. Nothing to do with that.
Oh yeah, no, we pulled you out.
Yeah.
But regardless, Luke. I have to point out that Luke Skywalker very much was a Mary Sue character. Straight off the bat, he was able to. Straight off the bat, he was able to fly an X-wing. I never saw him.
He was always a pilot, though.
No,
he was always a pilot.
No,
yes, because Big said that he was the best pilot.
Yeah, but they didn't fly X-wings, did they?
It doesn't matter.
It does.
He asked.
They're different ships.
Whoever the head dude was, the leader.
You're making the same arguments I had.
The assumption. It's the assumption because he asked and Biggs stood up for him.
Biggs stood up for him that he could fly this, but that doesn't mean he could fly this.
No.
So if you could fly a Millennium Falcon, you could fly an Imperial Star Destroyer.
No. How the
why
fuck was she able to fly the Falcon to begin with? Was she flying ships before? Did she fly any other ship before?
I don't know, because Luke was able to.
Luke was a bush pilot.
Yeah, he was able to fly. He flew the Millennium Falcon.
that he was a bush pilot.
Luke co-piloted the Millennium Falcon.
Co-pilot is different than pilot.
Still, you gotta know how to fly it. Ask any fucking actual pilot. The co-pilot knows how to fly a plane just as much as the actual pilot.
Luke was a pilot. He was
so you're saying
pilot. Ray was not a pilot.
No. You're saying that just because someone can fly... So you're saying if I could fly a prop plane over and crop dust, I could fly an F-15.
Yeah.
No!
Yes.
No, they were fundamentally completely different.
You said fly. What are you insinuating? You can pilot... You can get into any plane. If you can fly a plane, you can get into any plane and fly that plane. Takeoff, landings...
No.
Not saying that.
Oh,
you fly.
No, not even.
Yes.
Not even.
Yes.
They fly completely different.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Look it up. The aerodynamics of each plane is different. They function fundamentally different.
They fly the same.
So does a fucking rock, Dirk.
Yeah, and I could throw several different rocks. I never have to pick up a rock before, but I could throw several different rocks. And they'll all throw the same. Am I wrong? You just used a rock example. I'm wrong?
Comparing a rock to a plane.
Yeah, that's stupid.
You're comparing a prop plane to an F-15 is stupid.
Okay, that's an aircraft to an aircraft.
Wow! So if I could fly a prop plane, I could fly a Boeing 757.
If it is in the air, and you can fly this one, and it's in the air, and you can fly this one. Yes.
Okay, so...
If you have never flown a plane before,
so Luke took off.
You cannot necessarily...
So Luke took off, landed, and did combat maneuvers.
Off the Falcon.
No, he took off with an X-Wing.
Yeah.
An X-Wing's completely different than what he was flying on Tatooine.
How do we know that?
Because literally...
We never saw what he flew. All we can go off of... It's for literally flying through valleys and shooting rodents. Yes.
And crop dusting.
And the X-Wing is not that big of a spacecraft.
It's a fighter pod. It's a fighter plane. It's literally the difference between a prop plane that you would fly dusting crops and an F-15.
And what's the size difference between those two?
Pretty big, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Look it up.
I'll look it up. Whatever the case.
One's also jet-propelled, and the other one is a fucking prop plane.
They're both aircraft. They both fly the same.
And they take off and land completely different, and they also function very different in combat. The aerodynamics are completely different, and they function completely different.
Aerodynamics are the same.
We're talking...
If you understand the aerodynamics of one, you understand the aerodynamics of the other.
But
now,
just
before you get into that,
just because you know how to...
Space!
I know. And I knew you'd know that.
Bush pilot on a planet!
I understand.
Space!
I know.
Two different fucking things.
I understand.
So aerodynamics doesn't matter.
I get that. But if he's used to flying in a gravity well with aerodynamics... What makes you think that he would be able to fly in space just as effectively in something that flies completely different?
That's what I'm saying. No, because I'm trying to make the point that
I'm trying to help you.
Well,
he had R2-D2, so he could have done the landing.
There is that. R2 did a lot.
They could do the landing and also taking off.
Did a lot.
So the flying part could be the exact same, but the landing and taking off, R2 could have taken over that. Sorry, that's all I have to say. Now, technically he couldn't though, because R2 actually pretty much fried up at the end of episode 4, so Luke had a layout.
I'm guessing that Luke did not have any type of droid help on his bush pilot ship.
No, he didn't.
Which means he would have had a pretty good handle on how to fly.
In an atmosphere.
So you add an astro droid to that, you don't have to do near as much work.
You are arguing really hard to allow Luke to know how to fly an X-Wing. You are fighting really hard to give someone that's 19 that has never piloted an X-Wing in his entire life. You are trying really hard to explain how a 19-year-old who has never been in any military at all ever, never been trained in any military capability whatsoever, because that's stated in the movies. He wanted to go to the Imperial Academy to learn. but Owen wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
So he had no prior experience in any military or naval capacity whatsoever, and he was immediately put into an X-Wing and did the trench run.
Now, again, he had prior piloting experience.
You are really trying to wedge, so...
I am lending evidence.
You are
I'm giving
really
you
trying
evidence.
to wedge. It doesn't
I'm
matter.
also-
It doesn't matter because there are people that fly prop planes right now. You go to a farmer that has a prop plane, and he does crop dusts over something. You ask him to sit in an F-15 and to take off, fly into a combat situation, dogfight another fucking MiG or F-15, be successful, be as successful as Luke was, land, and then fucking, do a trench run or something like that. You go out there and ask a farmer to do what Luke did in the span of a month. Because literally that's how long episode 1 is. I challenge you $1 million fucking dollars to take a fucking farmer that has never been in the military, that has barely flown, that has flown a prop plane. He knows how to fly a prop plane real good. I will challenge you $1 million to find a farmer that flies a prop plane super good, and put him in an F-15 and send him over into Iraq to do MiG fights to do MiG fights in combat and see how fucking great he is. Because there's so much computer automation on the F-15. I'll even give you that. Do that and have him come back and tell me. Have him tell me that this is the same fucking thing.